I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes. So I always like to try to build consensus in these hearings, and obviously this is an issue where there are very strong opinions, but I think we have identified some points of consensus today, so maybe I'll just list a few, at least that I've gathered, and any of the witnesses that disagree with any of these principles, feel free to speak up and correct me. But I think we can all agree that parents have a compelling and far-reaching right to know when it comes to their child's education. I think we can all agree that teachers and school personnel have a legal obligation to report when they have reasonable suspicion that a child is being abused in their home. We agree with that. We can agree that immigration enforcement has no place in our schools. Can we agree with that?
Absolutely.
We can agree that federal laws pertaining to parent access to records do or ought to include electronic records. Can we agree with that? Parents have a right to access their child's curriculum that's being taught in schools, and parents have a right to opt their child out of sensitive parts of that curriculum, and that indeed districts ought to let parents know proactively about these sensitive areas and their right to opt out. Can we agree with that one? And how about this one, that it is unlawful for districts to require that teachers conceal information related to a child's chosen name or gender, as Mrs. Figliola has described. Do we agree or disagree with that one?
Laws that mandate that educators provide notice to parents about a child's sexual orientation, gender identity, without regard to the child's specific situation, the family situation, or procedures for bringing the parent into that conversation, can put the child in danger. They can strain that.
But that's not exactly what I asked, right? So what she's described is a policy that requires concealment. Can you agree that that's unlawful?
As opposed to a not mandating disclosure.
Correct.
Okay.
So we agree.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I think that there is quite a bit of agreement here. And, I think that with some of these issues, when it comes to the issue of the name and the chosen gender, these are increasingly common issues, actually, that we're seeing that are on the rise. I think they also sort of highlight this broader concern that in some cases, it's not just the decisions of the students that are being concealed from parents, but also there's a sense that perhaps what the student is experiencing at school might influence the decisions that they make. And that's in a sense a larger concern. Have you seen that in your work, Mrs. Powell?
Could you repeat that?
The parents are concerned not only that information is being kept from them about their students' decisions, but that the school might be playing a role in some sense in influencing those decisions.
Yes, and in fact, I wanted to suggest one more point of agreement. The Ranking Member Bonamici spoke about the importance of having parents not impose their beliefs on the classroom, and that's exactly what my concerns are, where you have ideological beliefs being imposed on the children, and the schools would be better focused on the academic instruction and leaving that part to the parents.
Yeah, that's a great point. When I think about what's happening in California, this has become sort of a hot button issue the last few years, but it's really an issue that has been provoked by statewide elected officials and by the California legislature. Like the norm over the last several decades has not been for schools to actively conceal information from parents. The notion that they would do so is sort of a new phenomenon, and you've had, statewide elected officials in California going around suing school districts, even passing statewide laws on the matter. My personal view is that this is an attempt by them to create a distraction from the fact that our public schools are failing to adequately educate our kids. California has the highest illiteracy rate in the country. UC San Diego just announced that a significant share of their incoming freshmen can't do even basic math. And this is despite the state now spending almost $40 billion more per year on education than when Gavin Newsom became governor just a short time ago. So what do you think of that, Mrs. Powell? Do you think that this is an attempt by politicians to provoke a kind of culture war issue in an attempt to evade accountability for failed academic outcomes?
Yes, I'd agree with that. You were in Sacramento for a while, and you see how things operate there, and there's a lot of that goes on, and not a lot gets done that actually benefits the children. I mean, I'm in a district with kids performing below grade level, most kids, and yet so much energy is spent on things like social emotional learning and not on the academics that the kids really need.
Thanks very much. My time has elapsed, and, oh, do we have another?
We do.
Ah.